Hello, and welcome to Dark Hearts with Stacey Lee. I'm on the tail end of a cold, so please forgive my voice today. Before we begin, please hit the like button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from me. It helps so much. You can also join my Patreon. We have a big goal there, and I will talk about that at the end of the video. Whew, Lordy, there have been some wild stories coming out of the news lately, and this is definitely one of them. Because I'm very, very old, I sometimes forget that there are still people living very wild lifestyles, living on the edge. Different place, different town every night. I lived somewhat like that for a lot of years as I traveled and toured as a singer, but now I kind of sing when I want and where I want, and those wild, exhausting days are behind me. Thank you, baby Jesus. I don't know if this generation could keep up with mine, just saying, but they party hard and they love hard and they fight hard, and it's now all captured on video and posted online. Oh wait, that's two things I need to thank baby Jesus for. We didn't have cameras in our hands or social media to post on back in my days. Today's story is a train wreck in slow motion. It's one of those stories where you can absolutely see the outcome ahead of time, but as is often the case in these situations, there's just not much that can be done about it. People make choices, they use drugs, they live on the edge, and before you know it, they've gone over it. This case is ongoing, but I'm going to tell you what we know so far, and then I'll update you later on as it progresses. This is the story of the murder of Christian Obumseli and his OnlyFans model girlfriend, Courtney Clenney. I'm your host, Stacey Lee. Let's begin.
We have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could, and
Christian is dead.
Yes.
Oh my God. Christian died? No, that's not true. That's not real, right?
It is real.
Christian is dead. I for dang sure did not stab him. That would be insane. I mean, I didn't even think that this would touch him. But I mean, I thought that I would scare him by just grabbing it.
The woman in that footage has just been informed that her boyfriend of several years, Christian Obumseli, who often went by Toby, has died. The woman's name is Courtney Clenney, but most people knew her by a different name, Courtney Tailor. And she spelled it Tailor, like a seamstress. Courtney was an OnlyFans model, and it is said she was making tens of thousands of dollars a month selling photos of herself online and through interactions with her fans online. Courtney was born on April 21st, 1996 in Midland, Texas. I lived in Midland for a year. It was a year. The people there are very nice, I will say that. And then Courtney moved to Austin with her family when she was 7 years old. She lived in Austin for 11 years and did all the usual things American kids do. She played soccer, she did gymnastics, and she got really into the sport of high diving. At one point, she even considered competing in the Olympics. That never came to fruition, and Courtney ended up moving to Los Angeles when she was 19. She is now 27 years old. She was 26 years old at the time of the events we're going to be discussing today. So she is very, very young. She took a shot at modeling and at acting, but did not have success at either. She was in a film called Everybody Wants Some in 2016, and she had some roles as an extra on films like American Psycho. Ooh, that turns out to be apropos. And some other films that I haven't heard of. The only name I recognized in any of the films that she was in was from Everybody Wants Some, and that name is Wyatt Russell. It's a sports comedy, not something I admittedly would ever watch, so I haven't seen it. Then Courtney got involved in the physical fitness industry, and she started entering bikini competitions. She got extensive plastic surgery, and then hired an acting coach. I read articles that said Courtney got involved in the adult industry, and then I read threads that said those reports were not true. This is the day and age we live in. It's very difficult to know what to believe about anyone because it's so easy to get online and say whatever you want about people. Hey, I've done it, talking about people who run cults. I give my opinion to you guys, but I do also try to bring you the truth. And when I don't know it to be the truth, I try to tell you that as well. So I don't know if Courtney was ever in the adult industry, and it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to give you as much history on her as I could find. Courtney also got a part in the music video Me, Myself, and I for artists G-Eazy and BB Rex, and that came out in 2015, so she was doing some video girl dancing as well. Courtney then started an OnlyFans account very quickly after the platform launched in 2016, where she posted photos of herself modeling swimwear and skimpy outfits, and she often showed herself working out as well. She stayed very involved in the gym culture, and as she posted, her following began to grow. Her Instagram currently has 1.9 million followers. That is a huge following on Instagram. At one point, it had over 2 million followers. I checked it a few weeks ago, and it had 2 million. Now it's down to 1.9. So she has lost a couple 100,000 followers. Honestly, it says something about our society that she hasn't lost all of her followers, but I totally get it. We have morbid curiosity. Courtney had some brand deals with some companies I'm not familiar with, and then her content became much more explicit. I didn't check on that. I have never actually been on OnlyFans. I know people that have OnlyFans accounts, so maybe that's why I stay off and I'm like, I don't want to run into you there. But I've read enough to get the gist. Not all content on OnlyFans is explicit, but I don't know. I just haven't checked it out yet. I probably will at some point. Courtney Clenney is a very poorly behaved young woman. That's the most polite way of saying it. In 2017, she began an affair with this married man, Sean Roden, and while they were involved, Courtney attacked Sean, punching him in the face and shattering his jaw. Courtney claims that she didn't know Sean was married, and that when she found out, that's when she hit him and shattered his jaw. Sean never pressed charges and never publicly discussed the incident. People say that they believed Sean was injured in a car accident. I guess that's what he told people. His injury was so severe that he had to blend his food for months and drink it through a straw. You can understand why he would be embarrassed to tell people that a woman had broke his jaw. I mean, he's this big macho bodybuilder guy. Courtney and Sean's affair ended, and then Sean actually died in 2021 from a heart attack. For a lot of years, I bumped up next to the fitness industry. My family owned a fitness store that I helped run, that one of my brother-in-laws got involved in. And then I had a really close girlfriend for a long time that would do bikini competitions. And so I have thoughts and opinions about the fitness industry. A lot of people that are in that industry have body dysmorphia, and there's a lot of really unhealthy behavior in that industry. So this kind of all makes sense to me. Courtney got a DUI in Austin in 2018 and then another one in 2020. Each time she was arrested, her blood alcohol content was 3 or 4 times the legal limit. Like I said in the beginning, a train wreck in slow motion and a very poorly behaved young woman. I have a real personal disdain for people who drive when they're drunk. We all make mistakes. I understand that. If you get a DUI and you learn from it, I think that's great. If you get 3 DUIs, I think that's not great, and you're not a person who cares about their fellow man very much, or about yourself. At some point in 2020, Courtney met this man, Christian Obumseli, who, like I said, went by Toby. Toby was born on April 12th, 1994 in Dallas. His parents are Nigerian immigrants. Toby grew up as an athlete who played basketball and football. He was even captain of his football team. He attended Texas Tech and graduated with a degree in communications. He was working as an investor and cryptocurrency trader at the time of the events we're discussing today. I think the kids call him crypto bros or something like that. Like, I don't know. I can't keep up. There's too much slang now. And now I will drink some Metamucil and go watch The Mentalist because I am very, very old. When Courtney and Toby first started dating, they seemed to be very much in love. But within a few months, their relationship became very, very toxic. I think the word toxic is overused and misused quite a bit, but you would definitely say that this relationship was toxic. They fought all the time and they fought about everything. And I mean everything. If a girl looked at Christian and he looked her back in the eye, that was a fight. And that just tells you a lot about Courtney's massive insecurities. The couple first moved in together in an apartment in South Austin, and soon neighbors were complaining about the fighting and the noise. One neighbor awoke to find a painting Courtney had thrown from her balcony that landed on his. I don't know, she better be glad I wasn't her neighbor, because you throw something off your balcony and onto mine and it hits one of my pets, you and I got beef. Kiss my little grandkids, oh no. From almost the get-go, this couple was involved in almost daily fights, and they were usually violent. I think it's incredibly important to talk about things like this because when you're young, you often don't realize what an abusive relationship you're in, and you often don't realize how bad it's become. I fell victim to a relationship like this after I separated from my first husband, and I'm going to share this in hopes it helps anyone who sees this video down the road. This is why we talk about cases like this. One night when I was dating this man who was a functioning alcoholic, something else I didn't know was a thing because I was raised in a very sheltered culture as a Mormon. One night he turned for no reason. He was mad about some TV deal that he didn't get. He was in advertising and stuff, and he screamed right in my face, like this far from my face. I had never seen anyone act like that before. That was a test, and it was a test that I failed. He was testing me to see if he could treat me like that and get away with it. I was so shocked. I didn't know what to do, and so I did nothing. And I'll bet you will never, ever guess what happened after that. The behavior got worse. Screaming turned to grabbing me, choking me, threatening me. And then I got to a point where I was kind of giving it right back. Honestly, I'm just going to own it. When I talk about this, it seems like I'm talking about a different person. I was a different person. I mean, I was like 24 years old at the time for starters, but I just want to put that out there. I know from experience, once someone crosses that line, once someone, male or female, screams at you like that, the next thing that's coming is physical abuse. The screaming and the yelling is door opening, and what comes through the door is physical abuse. And I'm admitting there were times I fought back. It was very, very toxic. Do not ever let anyone put their hands on you, because once they do it, they will do it again. And I'm saying that as the receiver and then eventually the giver of those hands. I will own my part in it. Toxic relationships do not just become untoxic. They just don't. And with that, I am going to show you several clips of just how horrific Courtney's behavior was in this relationship and how I don't want to further victimize Toby. He definitely was the victim of abuse by Courtney. And like many victims, he allowed that abuse to continue for a myriad of reasons. This is a common situation, sadly, and one that you will have to judge for yourselves, but it got very, very bad. Las Vegas Metro is called to the Cosmopolitan Hotel and Casino. Courtney and Toby were staying there on vacation, and they had gotten into a horrible fight. Now, if you're familiar with Vegas, people think it's this place where anything goes, and it is. It most definitely is, until you break the rules. When you break the rules in Vegas, they do not mess around. Casinos are all about their image. That image is everything to them. They want people there to have fun and let loose and spend money. And anything you do that disrupts that flow is shut down, and it's shut down quick. They do not tolerate any kind of fighting. Even raising your voice in a casino will get you immediately tossed. No questions asked. In fact, that's why I tolerated playing on the casino circuit for so long as a singer. It's a grueling gig. You sing for like 4 hours a night, 6 nights in a row, but you're safe, you're in a clean environment, and you've got security. It's much tidier than going to the bar scene because you don't put up with jack in the casinos. So when Courtney and Toby started fighting in this casino, people immediately complained. On July 27th, the hotel got 2 noise complaints, and that was that. The employees called the cops. Around 5 a.m. that morning, apparently Courtney had thrown a glass at Toby, who was laying on the couch in their suite. The glass barely missed him. Toby had fallen asleep on the couch after they'd been drinking all day and all night, and Courtney tried to wake him up to come to bed. Well, Toby didn't want to wake up or come to bed, and so for that, Courtney threw a heavy-bottomed glass at his head. Both Toby and Courtney had been drinking heavily, and they were both angry that they'd wasted their first trip to Vegas drinking too much, which resulted in them sleeping too much, and they didn't get to actually see Vegas. This is such a common story. As Vegas locals, Jason and I would always give people advice. On your first trip to Vegas, only come for 3 days, tops. After the first 3 days, you'll be broke, you'll be hungover, and you'll be ready to go home. After you go to Vegas the first time, go back a second time and see a little bit more of Vegas, but people tend to go crazy on their first trip, and Courtney and Toby did. So Courtney was mad because Toby had fallen asleep the night before, and that made her miss her dinner reservations. She got mad, and Toby called her a bitch, and so she threw a glass at him. Courtney even called security to try and get Toby removed from the room, which is classic narcissistic and abuser behavior. She's the one that threw the glass, and then she wants him removed from the room. Classic. The police told Courtney that she threw the glass, that's domestic battery, and they took her to jail. She dealt with her charges, apparently, and the couple moved on. And then months later, the couple moved. Courtney and Toby were living in Austin, and then they moved to Miami into this very luxurious high-rise apartment. I don't know if they maintained both residences, one in LA and one in Miami, but apparently at some point they also had a place in LA. The events we're discussing today took place in Miami. Now, as I've said before, we are all responsible for our own triggers. I'm not a huge fan of trigger warnings. This is a true crime channel and you should know what you're in for when you're here. But with that said, this is some triggering and disturbing stuff, so use your discretion if you're easily triggered by domestic violence. You can see Courtney's just completely obnoxious, out of control, angry, violent. She's a brat. She's just a brat. She's someone who thinks she can act however she wants and do whatever she wants because she's a little blonde girl and he's a big black guy, and she knows that if it ever comes down to brass tacks, he will be the one that gets blamed. She knows that, you guys. And if you don't believe me, I'm sorry, you're wrong. People who are concerned with getting in trouble or getting arrested or the consequences of their actions do not act like this in public. I stand by that. So she is someone who felt very privileged and very much like if anything ever goes down and the cops come, he's going to be the one that gets hauled off. If she acts like this in public, can you imagine how she acts at home? Oh, wait, actually, this is how she acts at home.
No, like I was sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you. Like you're hindering my progress.
You need to sit down. You need to sit
Let go of me.
Yes.
Let go of me.
Come on.
Let go of me.
Okay.
Come on, boy. Let go of me.
What?
Like I can't even, like, I'll talk to you later. Like, get the off me.
You don't want to hit me?
Christian, he saw me, and I know he's looking. I'm fed up with you. I'm fed up with how you treat me.
Courtney,
Yes, I'm not mad at you.
You let Milan
I was
say
sorry.
some line ass that affected you.
I didn't let her say anything.
I didn't say
you did it.
Hey, let's go to Milan right now. Let's pull up her.
No. I'm just gonna say her the same.
No, she's in the group chat. Let's put her on the phone right now.
I dare you.
Yeah, you dare me? Keep saying
you
it.
You do it.
Then stop saying it then.
Do it.
Then stop saying it then. Then stop saying it then.
Let's look. I'll
pull up. Come on.
Let me get my fucking shot.
Ask her. Ask her, did I touch her
Do
breast
you
yesterday?
see how if he is?
No, you're telling me I touched her breast yesterday when I
You did. I didn't say you f***ing touched it.
You said I did.
You were leaning. Yo, you were dumb as I actually don't want to be with you. Actually, I'm done.
Okay.
Can you send him home?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm done.
Okay, fine.
Done. Because you're costing me money. I didn't do shit. I got to this house because of you.
You let Milan say some line ass.
No, because you were flirting with like 3 girls the whole time.
What 3 girls? What 3 girls? You?
Well, maybe it
you
didn't matter.
You,
it was
you,
Milan.
Milan? I was with Milan?
And she said, hey, come get your mans. He's
lying.
trying to come home with me.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
You're lying. She said, come get your man. That I was trying to hit on Milan. Come on, baby.
Okay.
That doesn't even sound right.
Christian, you're fired.
Fine.
Hopefully, shut up.
You will never see me again. You are the most
good.
ever met in my
Hopefully
life.
you will let me.
Courtney.
Get the out of here. This isn't even my house.
Yeah, cool.
It's not my house. You're just like my boyfriend. Get the out of here.
Just like your
I
boyfriend?
can actually get like done if you're not here.
Yeah.
Get the out of here.
Okay, I'll remember that next time.
Get out of here. No, there's not gonna be a next time. Get the out. Get out.
Don't touch me again.
Good thing, get out. Get out. You never loved me. The way you treated the girls last night, you embarrassed me. I don't want anything to do
I'm
with you.
embarrassing you guys today. You're really just self-conscious. You always talk about, oh, Christian, you like this. I say, what did I tell you before? You're the baddest person in this. No one has anything on you. I tell you this every day. I have text messages that you say, Christian, thank you for the content.
Shut up! But you don't do it the next day!
Why are you screaming? There's people in this house.
Get out, for real. I never want to see you again.
Ooh.
Again, just totally out of control behavior, very violent, very illegal, I might add. Someone who is very much on the edge, blaming someone else for losing their sobriety. That's a common theme as well. As we all know, we're all responsible for our own choices. She's blaming this man for her own choices, which we all know is wrong. But again, he stays, as many abuse victims do. And it's high time we talk about men who are abused by women, because there are plenty of them out there, as I'm sure many of you know. Toby wisely got into the habit of recording Courtney when she went on her rants. Here are a couple of clips of her berating him verbally and even disgustingly using racial slurs at him. Something I don't think highly of Courtney, and I will have a very hard time pretending that I do, so I'm just going to say it. Yes, she was young, and yes, we all make mistakes. There are some things that are not mistakes, and there are some things that even 5-year-olds know not to say, and Courtney couldn't manage either of those things. So no, I do not have a high opinion of Courtney, and that's just the truth.
Touch me!
What is going on? What are you going to get this mad at me when I'm apologizing to you?
Just shut up and let me slap you, dumb.
You're not going to slap me.
Give me my phone.
You have your phone.
You literally talked to her without telling me!
Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said hi. You and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me a
You're a
Yes, thank you. Coming from Courtney, thank you.
I want you to get away from me!
Or not, you're done, Beth.
I am mad that you told me to come.
Decide right now.
Courtney, that's a word. I asked you so many times that I don't know, and I apologize. But you hit me.
Shut the up.
Courtney was making all the money, and so Toby became her personal assistant. That sounds healthy, right? That's a bad idea in any relationship, but especially one like this. Toby began waiting on Courtney, hand and foot. He made her bookings, he took her personal phone calls, and although he was supposed to be getting a commission, most people believe Courtney never even paid him. They'd fight, she'd throw his things out the window, then buy him more things, they'd make up, and then the whole ugly cycle would start all over again. I feel sorry for Toby, I do. But the lesson I really want to take away from this, and the message I want to promote here today, is do not put up with this type of behavior from a partner. You are worth more than that, and you should never tolerate any type of abuse, period. Listen to your mother, you are worth more than that. Sadly, Toby and Courtney stayed in this toxic relationship, and just days before it would all come to a horrific, tragic end, someone in the couple's luxury high-rise apartment building called the police. This was not the first time the police had been called, but sadly, it would be the last. The apartment complex was actually in the process of evicting the couple because they had so many noise complaints from neighbors. I read reports that said neighbors 2 stories above and 2 stories below Courtney and Toby's apartment had made noise complaints and even complaints about their own safety. If I'm paying $10,000 a month in rent to live in downtown Miami, I am not putting up with this crap from neighbors. I'm sorry, I'm not. I feel bad for the neighbors. The building managers had received so many complaints that they decided they were done with the couple and they wanted them gone. So on top of the horrible toxicity of the relationship, the two were dealing with the stress of being thrown out of their apartment. Courtney claims she didn't want that to happen, but you will see in this clip the manager is done with this woman and wants her gone. This video was taken just one day before the tragic events surrounding this story.
The boyfriend actually came after her and Paul was walking towards there, and then I just said, you know, enough is enough. Police need to be called. She said she don't want police to be called. But when it's in a common area and something happened like that, my safety is the residents first.
I stayed in my apartment all day. I didn't take my dogs out for like 8 hours because I was afraid that when I came down here, I was going to be down. And when I did come down, I walked my dogs, and he was telling me he wouldn't leave me alone. I said, please just walk my dogs in peace. We're not together.
Courtney, does he have any property in your apartment?
He has so much. Can I, with respect, can I please? I just like my heart. I just feel like I'm not being heard.
What else do you
I
need?
was told I was going to get a chance to speak.
Go ahead, Courtney. What's going on?
Now's your turn.
Are you gonna listen?
We're listening. Go ahead.
You say something wrong.
All right. So what do you want to say?
I want to be like, I want to be like exonerated, I guess, of like anything wrong. And I want him, okay, the police are here. I want a restraining order against Christian Obumseli.
Well, we don't issue those.
Because, no, I'm
To
serious.
courts.
Can I do that?
You have to go to court. You have to go to downtown.
How can I make
petition.
myself first? Because I know him and he would do it. How can I make myself first?
You gotta
So I had a lot of opportunities to call y'all, and I did not. So when he's following me around this dog park, I said, there is no, your time is up. Like, that's it. And then all of a sudden, like, he's following me to the elevator, and I said, don't fall. This guy said he had to shelter. When I was upstairs, and then they showed up on my door, I said, I sheltered him. I said, show me the video. Like, I really got angry because that did not happen.
So you question this. I need a restraining order against him.
Okay, did you hear all this?
Listen.
Okay, they're listening.
Who's on the phone with you?
Just my dad.
Okay. You understand? It's your questions that are making much of an...
I am... Right now, like, I have not always been a victim, but, like, right now, I'm a freaking victim in the situation. I'm scared to go downstairs and walk my dogs. I just walked them, and I told him, you don't have a chance, and now, all of a sudden, this is all happening.
What's his name?
Christian Tobechu Obumseli.
Christian?
Please, just, like, don't get me kicked out of my own apartment.
For whatever reason, no arrests were made on this day. Usually when the police are called to a domestic violence incident, someone has to go to jail. I know that sometimes seems like a harsh policy, but we see all too often when police do not separate the fighting couple, tragedy often occurs. That's exactly what happened in the Gabby Petito case, and the Moab Police Department is being sued for not following its own protocol. According to its own rules, the Moab police should have arrested either Brian Laundrie or Gabby Petito, and they didn't. Days later, Brian murdered Gabby, and I'm not saying he wouldn't have done that had the police put him in jail. It might even have made it worse. Who knows? But the policy is usually that someone gets arrested in these situations. They're separated in hopes that they cool off for a period and the separation will, let cooler heads prevail. That didn't happen with Courtney and Toby, and sadly, it ended up in a disaster. On April 3rd, 2022, this brutally toxic relationship turned deadly. Another fight ensues, just like the fight before that and the one before that, but this fight ends very differently. This will be the last fight Courtney Clenney and Toby Obumseli ever have.
One operator dial. What is the address of your emergency?
Well, now I'm gonna die.
Hey, man, please.
3101. It's 130, so 130.
I'm gonna die.
Ma'am, listen to me. You need to stop screaming on the line and give me the address.
3101.
I'm gonna die. I can't feel my arm.
3101.
I can't feel my arm.
Ma'am.
So my boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am, what is the address?
What's that? What's the address, baby?
3131.
3131 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come see my
What is the phone number that's your... Ma'am, is this a house apartment or a business?
512-745-2582.
Is this a house apartment or a business?
Baby, I'm so sorry. Baby.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Eyes.
If you have a stab wound to his shoulder, can you sit down?
What do you mean he has a stab wound on his shoulder, ma'am?
Yes, he's bleeding from his shoulder.
Rescue, this is PD Physician Juliet. The caller, ma'am, hold on one moment. The caller advised the address is 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue, 31 Northeast 7th Avenue. The phone number is verified. The caller advised that her boyfriend has a stab wound.
Okay, is this a house, apartment, or a business?
Get up. Listen, please, God, please, stop. Please, God,
Listen, ma'am. Listen, I'm sending help. I need you to tell me exactly what happened. I'm sending help. How old is he? Ma'am, how old is he? Is he awake? Hello? Hello? PD, are you still on the line?
Yes, Kristen on the line. She didn't provide a room number or anything.
No, did she tell you where he was stabbed at?
She said he was stabbed on his shoulder.
Okay. Do you know if there's more than one wound?
No, she didn't say. She just kept screaming on the line saying that he was dying, that he needed help, and she kept apologizing. But we do have a call at that same address in reference to a fight that happened. The room number could possibly be 2201, because we already have a call that two people are fighting inside of that room. So they're possibly related.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give her a call back, but we do have rescue on the way, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And is PD responding on the 3?
Yes, we're responding on the 3.
Alrighty, thank you.
That was Courtney Clenney on the phone with Miami 911 dispatch. She is calling for immediate help, telling the operator that her boyfriend has been stabbed and she needs the paramedics. As you also heard, the operator is frustrated, saying that Courtney never even gave her an apartment number or confirmed that this was, in fact, a high-rise. Courtney is pretty hysterical, but we all know in an emergency it's important to remain calm and give the information to the dispatcher so they can help you. Christian Toby Obumseli is taken to the hospital where doctors do everything they can to save him, but a massive artery has been hit and severed by the knife, and there is nothing they can do, and Toby dies. You saw at the beginning of the episode Courtney's reaction when she is told that Toby is not injured, he is dead. Courtney seems to be denying that Toby is dead. She sits with the police for 3.5 hours and then tells them she is going to take herself out. When someone in custody makes such a statement, the police have to act. There are laws that require it. So Courtney is removed from the police station and committed to a mental health facility for 72 hours to be evaluated. Now, I don't know how this happened, but just 48 hours after she was committed, Courtney just walked on out of there. I guess the police were still putting their case together. 5 days after the stabbing, Courtney and her father walked into a hotel bar in Miami. A woman at that bar recognized them, and this is what happened.
His brother. Yeah, and are seeking justice.
Typing, sir?
Yeah,
What?
let's all videotape her. Okay. Right now, you should go. Yeah, you should go. Because you just killed her boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah, and yeah. He's right. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
As you heard, the woman recording this told Courtney to leave because she had just killed her boyfriend. It's hard to hear, but at the end, Courtney turns to this woman and says, "He lied to me," referring to Toby and also making some kind of excuse as to why she killed him. It's pretty vile. Courtney used all of her money to hire a very expensive attorney who immediately began to paint a picture of domestic violence with Courtney, as you can expect, as the victim. Courtney remained free for months. This is kind of baffling to me. I'm not sure on the details. They'll probably come out at trial. In June of 2022, 3 months after killing Toby, she moved back to Austin and bought a $1.3 million home in Lake Point, which is out near Bee Cave. It's a very posh area. There was a restaurant out there we liked to go to, and apparently Courtney's house is by that restaurant. I looked it up. It's a really expensive area, so, poor little Courtney. But that just shows you at this point, Courtney still had plenty of money, even after she'd hired these attorneys. She even transferred $1.5 million into her father's bank account. He said that she wasn't well mentally and he wanted to be in charge of the money so he could guarantee that she wouldn't go through it irresponsibly. Toby's family went on Dr. Phil and talked about their fight to get justice for their son. They began gathering and organizing all of the texts between Courtney and Toby and all of the video that he had taken. I still cannot figure out why it took so long to arrest Courtney, but finally, on August 10th, 2022, she was arrested. She was actually detained in Hawaii while supposedly in rehab there for substance abuse and PTSD. After being detained, Courtney was flown back to Florida and taken into custody on August 11th. She entered a plea of not guilty to second-degree murder, and she was denied bail. There was a hearing a few weeks ago on December 15th to address just how many of Toby's recordings would be allowed into evidence. And then there was a status hearing a couple of weeks ago on January 12th, and that's where things are at right now. Now, as you can imagine, Courtney is, of course, claiming that she killed Toby in self-defense. She is claiming that he was just as aggressive as she was, if not more so, and that they fought all the time. It was an abusive relationship, all of those things. Courtney's father has publicly made excuses for her, and he also claims that he didn't know she was on OnlyFans. I'm sorry, but where did you think your daughter was getting $2 million to buy a penthouse in Miami, another one in Austin, oh, and then the $1.3 million that she wired to you to watch over? You thought she was like a secretary or a personal trainer? Like, Courtney Clenney strikes me as someone who has had a lot of people making excuses for her for a lot of years. And I hope she enjoyed that, because there's something else she has a lot of time to look forward to, alone in a small cell. Maybe that will give her some time to get her head together, but I won't hold my breath. Thank you for joining me today on Dark Hearts with Stacey Lee. Please hit the like button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from me. It's been a really slow month. January was a really slow month here on YouTube, and I need a burst of new followers. We've got fundraising to do. It's a big deal. We got to get moving. Join my Patreon to keep the videos coming, and very soon we are going to start raising money to donate to police departments that have cold case DNA in storage that has not been tested because there's no money to test it. There are thousands of sexual assault kits sitting in refrigeration that have never been tested. They cost between $500 and $750 each. We are going to raise money, pick a case, get that kit tested, and hopefully solve a crime. The byproduct of that is getting that perpetrator's DNA in the system in case they've committed other crimes. It's a big goal, had it for a long time, years here now, and we're gonna start soon. I want you to know how much I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. I know you have tons of options. Stay safe, my friends, and be kind to each other. And I will see you next time on Dark Hearts with Stacey Lee. Bye.